All right. So this one's live. Now, perhaps, maybe, just maybe, we'll get on this thing and I hope you can hear me. Not sure what's going on here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I think they can hear you too. Let's see now. Hold on. Try to get this thing started one more time. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Jeez. All right, we're back. Hey, look, it does work. You can't hear me. Look at that. Okay, so I sent sent the link to Rich and Martin again. Maybe I'll be able to hear them this time. So now it's like my headphones aren't picking up on you. So I guess I'm gonna have to, I don't know, switch this thing out. Maybe.
Well, you sound real good. I don't know. Can you hear me?
All right. I'm plugged in. I'm plugged into the mic once again.
Okay.
How about now? Can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
Am I muted? Are we all good?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You're the Bible.
Good Lord, man. I'm saying.
You look like you was watching those, oh, look at that. Look at that.
Hey, just a little something going on over here. All right, so what's up, folks? We got Richard Lopez back in the house, and this evening we have Mr. Martin Leakey, Flat Earth British. What's up, Martin? What you got?
What's up? The dome, I believe.
Fantastic. Oh, yeah. All right, so hey, all right, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
What's up? So much, brother, so much.
All right, cool. All right, one more time. Let me see. All right, so I got volume. I can see the chat. I'll just say what's up to everybody in the chat. I see Miss Empress from Louisville. What's up, girl? Tammy Tony, Midnight Garner, Joanne, Ciodity, Amanda Effie, FF, Flat as a Pancake, Neil Williams, Domains in the house, Miss Tony, Miss Griffin, what's happening? Ashton TV was good. Hey, Dave, what's happening? Sergio Amata. All right, Gartrell McKinney, Cindy Pritchard, Plain Permaculture, IB Henriksen. All right, can't do too much of that because we're already behind schedule because I'm on some rookie stuff like always. Jeez.
Okay.
All right, so effectively had my mind blown last night. So I've gotten a little bit of rest. You know, got some food. You know, I'm fine. So what else we got this evening, guys?
Wow, where do you want to go?
Right. Where do we start? Rich was about to start getting in the Giants and all that, and it was getting crazy.
Well, speaking of Giants, while you're talking about Giants, people are going to have to start realizing this and factoring it in that, you know, they were real prominent. They were all kind of sizes of humanoids, just like we're giants to midgets. If I'm 6 foot, anybody who is 10, 11, 12 foot is a giant to me. Okay. Right. All right. These were good giants. They looked just like us. They were just bigger, just like us. And you had all kinds of giants. You had like ugly looking ones that
like vultured ones, yeah.
Right. And you had humanoids. Just imagine me, 10 foot. And, you know, I'm kind, and that's why I get the term gentle giant from. And people's going to have to understand that. And it's been hidden from us. And that about who we are and where we come from. And they were all mixture of people, all multicultural. I don't like to use the word race, but it was all a mixture of them.
Who said it was a race? They did. There's no race. Where are we racing to?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, and then, and people have to understand that, the fact that that is so they can understand the big picture. A lot of these photos, a lot of these people, I made a post on Facebook today. I was like, you know, Noah could have been a giant. It would make sense. You know what I mean?
I did see that post.
Right. And it was a lot of controversy, you know.
1,500 years.
Right. Very, very controversial. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. You know, we gotta start thinking outside the box.
Just a little bit.
You can pick and choose what part of history is fake and nonsense that we all and we know it's all fake.
Right.
You know, so you know, and that's a factor. And that's what I had to, you know, once I wised up and I watched Flat Earth British D1 and I had a little bit of New Earth in me.
Right.
And you start to realize, you start to get a better understanding on, what's going on, with this new reality. I mean, you got to put all the cards on the table. Like me and Flat Earth British was talking about earlier, the religious people and people who don't know about the global deception, you're going to have a hard time with this new information.
Um, Look, I think everybody, for the most part, is going to have a difficult time trying to process this one because, I mean, this is like flat Earth all over again for some people, I'm sure.
It's different because it's a beautiful thing to realize that we've been robbed of a culture. So what's happened here, right, is they've drove us backwards, thinking we're going forwards, and they've robbed us of our true potential. Because we are so much more demandable. You've accomplished things in your life. You know, if you set your intent, you can make things happen. You know, reality is malleable, right? This is ours. They know how it works, and they're using it against us with residuals and predictive programming and whole bombardment on our senses and lies. Nobody even knows what they're thinking. Everyone's bad wired. It's bad news. Okay, but this is a beautiful story. It's a beautiful ending to the whole thing. It shows that the whole of reality is based on technology, which they call magic, but magic is just advanced technology out of our frame of understanding. So it's magic to us, but it's not. It's not. It's all plasma technology and magnetics because that's all it is in this place. It's an electromagnetic place. Everything is energy. Okay, and it's bigger than that. It's deeper. They dive into our reality, our death, our birth, and everything in between. But it's a bigger story. It's a massive story. And once you get into it and get to know, it's deeper. It's a bigger, deeper understanding than flat Earth. Flat Earth is the environment you live in. Okay, we deal with that. We can move on. What's next? And then finding out what they got in mind and what this place exactly is. This big room, what it exactly is, and what our place is in you.
Right.
Okay, we've been robbed. We need to get it back. And we can. We can. Just wake him up and we can get it back. Simple as. Proof is there.
And that's the well, I appreciate you guys and the research you're doing, and I mean everybody who's out doing the research, putting the information out there, because man, it's like this is like the Matrix. Seriously, I mean, there's for real this whole legion of people who have absolutely no idea what's going on. They're just going about their day-to-day lives with no clue. So I mean, people like ourselves, like the folks in the chat, just willing to put the information out there. I have a lot of appreciation for what you guys do and what everybody's doing as far as putting the information out to change people's perspective and wake them up to the fact that things are nowhere near what we've been told.
All the world's a stage. Nothing new is under the sun. That's facts.
Absolutely. All right, man. All right. So who's up first? I'm here to learn, as is everyone else. So
let me show you some of this. My friend Dimapple.
All right, Martin, you got the screen.
I'll introduce you to some subjects that might not be familiar to you. If you give us a second. Oh, it's not coming up. There you are. There it was. So, is it there? Can you see it?
I can't see it.
No.
Okay, here we go.
I can't see anything. Okay, there we go. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is technosmia. All right. It's a science that was discovered in a library of books that were in basically the Zurich library that have just been released in the last year or so. So this technology was completely not known until recent days, and it's a vibrational technique where they use buildings and architecture to create a harmonic resonance in the atmosphere, in the ether, for the betterment of people. And it would seem, right, I'll show you an example. Okay, this is out of a lead atlas, 1733, what he's seen and what he drew. So he drew a mud flooded, inundated pyramids at Giza. But these are not the pyramids of Giza, surely, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's loads. There's
Wow.
big heads buried up to their middle, and strange sphinxes. But it's indeed what he drew, you see. So it gives you what's happened with these atlases that I've basically been uncovering is it's an alternative history. So it's nothing what you see in the history books you were taught in college or school. This is technasmia. Churches, these buildings and towers, Italian towers you see all over the plain, on every civic building, domes on top of the White House, wherever you want to see, okay? Every civic building will have something on its dome. And what they do is they gather static electricity out of the atmosphere and more besides. It's just absolutely incredible. They can even, they suggest, harness power of passing comets. This is allegorical art, and this shows you exactly what we're living in. Bit of a mind blower, this. When you
Wow.
learn how to read the code, it shows you of the reset system. So you have the controller in the middle under a chemtrail cloud, okay? The red, which it would be, lash around shows you that that means it's an active plasma field. So what you get is the lightning coming down, blowing everything up in the background and killing all the people in a mud flood, okay? The other side of the river, however, is the aristocracy and the well-being people, and they're getting sort of the opposite. They're getting sweets and good things. So it's a sort of separation of control set by resets. And that's akin to the French Revolution, which is some sort of reset, okay? And as you just can see everywhere in the Middle Ages, this is just one of 1,000 depictions I got. Everything is smashed to smithereens in the 1600s, and everything is inundated with mud. Trees have only just recently grown back. Everybody is in rubbish and in survivor times. Atmospheric electricity was also collected by ships. These are ships from the 1400s in China, Tartarian, and they got what looked like atmospheric electricity gathering devices or Tesla towers almost 600 years ago. So this has been going on a long while. These are devices as well. Pagodas, which you see in China, they have ceramic tops. This is an actual book which shows you how they work the resonators. This science is not imaginary. It's not something that needs to be proved. It's something that actually exists. Now, let me get out of here. This is a mud-flooded King Herod temple. If you excuse me, I'll show you that a second. Oh, so now this is from a Kirchner 1600 staff sword, and what you got in the center is a mega skyscraper, okay? And it's set in a grid pattern. Not only that, it's circuit board. It's an electrical circuit board. Electricity is electric city. This can be matched with a motherboard of a computer. This is an electrical component, and this is too. The size of these blocks in antiquity. All of this is old. Everything we're looking at is older.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, it's wow indeed, mate. And I got more than
You
that.
remember the Star Force I
Star
showed? I was talking about
Yeah.
yesterday, D? Exactly. That's what
Yeah, yeah.
So you can
I
imagine
remember.
that working as a whole thing. Maybe it can just charge up. And I've shown evidence tonight that these things, got sort of electricity emitting from them. And this is called the hedgehog style Starfall, but it's an electrical component again. Now, guys, this is what you got to remember in chat, okay? This is an era which they call the late Middle Ages. Okay, everyone is supposed to be covered in mud, chucking pee out of their windows, and dying of plague, not building highly sophisticated space age technology we can't even get our heads around in the modern day. This is out of place and completely out of time. Okay, it's mind blowing when you get into it. Okay, yeah. So these towers, these are energy gatherers, and they're all over antiquity. Okay, and Starforts, the ones we see today as survivors, they basically found them in the 1600s. They used them for military purposes, but on top of them originally were these Antiquitech devices, which blow holes in them, as you can see. They would administer probably some organ music, which is good for your organs, or basically the benefits of this sort of therapy of vibrational therapy, you can have literally surgery without any painkiller with this sort of technology. Is that effective? Okay, everything is sound and vibration. Things can be switched off in the body, turned on in the body. The mind is exactly the same. Synapses can be opened. It's just crazy stuff. This is a reset depiction of volcanoes and whole cities falling into the ground. This is the Stanfords when they got found. They documented them. You can see they're all smashed, unused, and they basically done them up and they put them to their best use. And they're the ones you see in the 1700s, which are there. Okay, and they use magnetism. They use water for defenses. I believe the water is some sort of buffer for maybe an incoming somatic wave or some sort of,
Yes.
inundation coming up to it, because they seem to stop short. But the mud does go inside of these as well, so they don't stop it coming up as well. I've noticed. Now that, guys, that's from the 1600s.
Yeah.
Well, that don't blow your mind. I don't know what will, because that is just like one Starfelt on top of another, on top of another. These things go mega deep. And do you know what else? Off the tips of them, right, you get lines, and they go off into the landscape for hundreds of miles. The petroglyphs do. And you can see them on Google Earth. They connect up with other petroglyphs, cross lines, and they're from other Starforts all over America, all over Asia. It's the just mind-blowingest thing ever. It really is. These Antiquitech towers, this is in like 1500s, and they were put on rafts, and they were taken out, a bit like a 5G mast of modern day. Yeah.
Okay.
1500s. This is the level of technology and thinking of the 1500s is just off the radar. I love these. These are Chewbacca's. I love these guys. These are documented well in the Middle Era, and they're like Chewbacca, the hairy dudes. I really dig them.
Huh.
You know what? They're cool. They're all over antiquity, these guys. You see them with royals as well. That is what I found. It may not look much, but it is, because it's a 1500 orgon device. It's just highly technical. And for the era, that one picture in itself is just worth, it's priceless. It's priceless. It just blows my mind. Getting rid of the dead is a big thing. This is in 1700s depiction. And in giant catacombs or caves, they just got mountains and mountains of these curious looking dead people. They're all like sort of bald and hairless and strange looking. I don't know. They're all over antiquity and they seem to be rounded up. Boats in China, fully equipped with a resonator, which is Antiquitech, which is atmospheric and resonators. Now this building here is from 1690s. And what you're looking at here is a multi-story skyscraper. Fully fitted with Antiquitech. These things, I know they look like satellite dishes or whatever, but they collect atmospheric charge, as do these aerials. But you know how many stories? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's a 14-story building, and when we thought they were in mud huts.
Right.
So this is, yeah, I know.
Right.
There's nowhere to escape. This is in Arabia, and everything is smashed, and the graves are all up as well, because the inundation or the flood that came through. I found a document tonight I posted, a CIA sort of classified document, which explained that it was a whole place not too long ago.
Right. I'll have to repost that. I had the link for that document on.
I'll drop it in the sidebar here. It's just mind blowing. Now look at that. Have any mechanics in the house? Do you recognize that?
Right.
Is it a side slice of 2 cylinders pumping in a motorbike engine or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. The valves. Poof, 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 poof. Like a cylinder. It looks like a motorbike cylinder for me. But anyway, regardless, it's from the 1500s, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. How many are in there, Richard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 laid in on top of one another.
What?
No,
Yeah.
you.
Oh, wait. So that's the overhead display or the heads up display, looking at layers. Oh, wow. Okay.
it's just so out of place. It shouldn't even be there in this era, not from what they taught us. And these things go deep. This is the design of a Stafford system around a river tributary. And as you can see, these things go very deep. And they are sort of more than reinforced concrete. They're a sort of really hard granite mixed in with reinforced concrete. Here's
Nice.
another example of Antiquitech in an old German woodcut from the 14th century. And what you've got to look there, it looks like some sort of 5G tower again. What it's doing there, I'm not quite sure what it is. I am not sure. Oh, so much. And these things, yeah, the stupas, they are also Antiquitech all over India, China. And these ones are laying
Very
down and facing
yeah.
out. That's not an accident. That's not an accident. They
Yeah.
are transmitting charge. Okay, they can take it further. And there's your mud flooded inundated 1600s and 1700s, excuse me. The point is, these are the most beautiful of architecture. Okay, everyone can see that they're beautiful. They're Ionian domes, so ornate. They
Hmm.
wouldn't lay these without a sidewalk or anything, guys, in rubbish and smashed up environment. Okay, this has been a mud flood. You can see the one building in the background's completely buried in it, right there.
Right.
So I got endless depictions of this sort of thing. There's another skyscraper in the middle of a city that shouldn't be there. Skyscrapers are not a new thing. That sound weapon development in Second World War to cause rain and weather. There's a
Mm.
further development, and
Yes.
that was First World War, and that was also, of course, it was a large organ-like sort of organ technology device which would cause rain.
Hmm.
And there's another one that was called the the Stenhausen, something like that, and it would cause basically to bucket down with rain, and they could win a battle. What's that?
Oh
Oh
wow.
yeah. Now this is in a Masonic lodge dating from the year 1593, showing an actual giant body of Adam on Noah's Ark, and it shows Noah's Ark, and just he's filling the entire thing on one of the decks. Just letting you know.
Oh, I see. Oh wow.
Yeah. Was Adam a giant? So I don't know whether this is some sort of evidence, from a sonic call. They're not sort of people we should trust, are they? So let me just show you some examples a minute. There's so much stuff. It's unreal, yeah. Like just so many fields in this. There's lizards and there's monsters and
Endless.
everything comes into it. Middle-aged freakiness or chemicalness. Missing people is a bit of a freak out. You go anywhere in place, and for some reason, you have the best architecture going, mud flooders, as you can see, lower basements,
Yes.
old wells, okay. But there's only a village sort of population for cities. You see this same sort of structure, same sort of thing you're going to see everywhere. This red brick sort of looks like my old high school sort of thing.
Wow.
But the windows down here, there's nobody about. Okay, there's two guys in a car, a couple of people on a pavement. Where's all the population? No matter, okay, this is later. You can see there's an electric thing on the roof and there's motor cars, but I'm talking previous to 1900, okay? You get this sort of thing with random missing population. This is Charleston, 1600s in Carolinas, and it's an Antiquitech device with some sort of somatic pattern. But look at this in the background. Guys, this is 1860s, American Civil War, right?
Hmm.
They ain't got no telegraph, and they certainly ain't got no wireless. But yeah, you got a giant telegraph pole in the background with wires on it. They're all over. I've caught many, many, many examples of no one around. Antiquitech buildings in China. These things, you're going to see these everywhere, Tartarian decorum towers. It's beautiful detail. But that one got burnt as well. They burn a lot of them, you see. And
Martin.
nobody seems to be
Martin.
home. We'll just whiz through a second. Okay, so a massive city street. That's later, coming up to the 1900s, got electricity going, but still, let me just whiz through some a minute. I have got so many. Show you. That's the most famous one you're going to see, D. This one messes your head up. This is in the center of St. Petersburg, okay? It's
Hmm.
supposed to be built by Peter the Great in the mid 1700s. However, he himself lived in a log cabin, right? So all these things are buried. You can see the steps would have been leading up. These things are half buried. There's no pavements. They're walking on wooden boards. You don't build the best architecture on earth, which it is, by the way. It's all marble. These are the Winter Palaces, the Hermitage Museum, the best buildings on earth. And you don't put a pavement outside, or a couple of maybe lampposts, or maybe a couple of little flower pots, or anything. But it's not only that, righty? There's no birds, there's no pigeons, there's no life whatsoever. Everyone is left home, okay? Same for these. They say these were built by monks in the Middle Ages, monks,
Mm.
the copper chisels. Now, they didn't have diamond blades, so they wouldn't have been able to do the cuts in the first place. Some other technology is going on. Okay, these have been around a lot longer, and they are not places of worship. They were taken over by an institution, parasitical institution, somewhere along the line, okay, after one of these resets. And these, the technology, the device that was actually in them, which through atmospheric charge and from under the ground, because all of them are put on ley lines and
Right.
underground water courses, every single one of them, no lie. So that plays a role too. And undersea, nearly all of them are giant catacombs, meaning thousands of dead people. So you go through these cities, mid 1800s, and then it starts to get weird. These are devices. These are not places of worship. There's no point in looking like that. What's the deal with the giant hall? Where's the speaker, if you like? It would have had a somatic pattern here. It looks to be dismantled, and here as well. And this thing would have emanated out into the ether, okay? A somatic pattern, a somatic charge, like 432 gigahertz frequency, something really sweet, which makes plants grow better, which makes
Yes,
people live longer. All
absolutely.
their organs are better. Look at this
Yeah.
for a device. There's no people around, by the way, in any of these, because no one's around, you see. These like one or two, because of ghost towns, because you've got a crew coming in. These places are like movie sets. This guy's looking at the camera because he's the other guy with the camera. You've got two other guys. It's not another boat outside. It's madness when it should be thousands, okay? There's a couple of ghosts here, so they've moved out of the shutter in the 30 minutes time it took to take the photograph. But again, it's the old world, and there's no one around. And the best architecture in the world, but no people. So it's a really, really strange scenario it is with this empty city. So, and then that got tied into this orphanages where I thought about, oh, well, I was born in a workhouse, and another sub said to me she was too, born in a workhouse. I thought, oh, that's weird. I put it out there on my channel, and about half a dozen people come back and said, yeah, my hospital used to be a workhouse occupied by orphans before. And then it got pieced together that there was just so many children, and none of them got any parents. Where well, the parents, so they got taken out in the early 1800s. See, this
Okay.
is device. This is
All right.
device.
Wait. So, okay.
Go on.
Is it possible that the like all the children that go missing these days? I mean, we've already heard about the situations with these people doing the rituals, the sacrifices, and all that of the children behind the scenes, and in these catacombs and whatnot. But is it possible that they're also taking these children kind of as a labor force in reserve for the next reset? Is that
it's definitely possible to consider different? Yeah, definitely on the cards. That is, yeah.
That's a real good question.
Yeah, man, it is. It's perfect. I've talked about it as well in the comments, but yeah, man, that's definitely could be happening.
Yeah, one could argue that point. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
So this is a gun artist from 1700s, Piranesi. Absolutely superb, but he painted what he saw, or he was an engraver. So what he sees is a completely sunken in mud Rome, which they didn't get the mud out till 1930s. Mussolini ordered it, and he managed to get a lot of work done. As you can see, this is in Rome, but it's still a pyramid. And you've got this mud all coming up here, down here, trees all smashed from a previous event, guys. And these buildings, these weren't built for these little tiny people. It looks bloody ridiculous, guys. These were built for big people.
Giant.
Huge
Giants.
people.
Yes.
Huge people. These this is not actually a mud flood, but I believe that this is the hiring or the ground leveling made higher in Seattle in the 1900 period, but they're hosing it to get it all deep. And I think they were looking for gold, and they did these ridiculous things with houses. But it
Oh,
doesn't.
wait.
Yeah,
If I may interject, I did go ahead and book the I did go ahead and book that tour to go to
oh,
the underground tour in Seattle of the
that'll be
city.
good.
So yeah, I got that. I'm going next Saturday, January 5th, 2 p.m. Pacific time. That's when I'm booked in. So I put it on
Wow.
Facebook, I put it on Instagram. So if anybody wants to link up with me, I'll be going out there to do that thing. And I may or may not be able to live stream because I mean I've gotten kicked out of malls before for live streaming, so I might not be able to stream from there. But that's what's going on. So January 5th, 2019, Seattle Underground City Tour. That's where I'll be at, and everybody's invited. All right, back to you, Martin.
Right. Well, this is just proof that antiquitech's a real thing. You know, when you get electricity pylons passing through your town, the superconductors, they hold the vast amounts of electricity to transfer onto the next pylon, are called superconductors, and they're made of ceramic, okay? Exactly like the superconductors on top of this pagoda of antiquity. They actually tell you what it's made of, porcelain. And you can see the coils, the Tesla coils. Okay, the whole thing is a technical device. You know, they're even telling you there's porcelain. So it's handling large amounts of electricity, static electric charge. The higher up you go, the more electrostatic charge you gather. This is technosmia, the vibrational science of bouncing echo and sound off of other walls and barriers and then emitting it out into the ether. It's a strange science. I've been studying it for a while. As I said, these churches go deep underground and they go into other places as well. It's all to do with water. Water is more than they tell us as well, guys. Definitely more. It can be structured. Let me show you. They're doing this in the antiquity. I know it's a dark image, but you've got these giant speakers. Can you see these? Bigger than a house. And they're facing out into the ether. And there's different sort of buildings in the distance. And it's not like a really loud speaker where they're shouting to a different college, a different house, "Oi, come over." Okay. So this is what they're doing. They're turning buildings into giant speakers. Okay. That's what the halls are you see in churches. Okay. There's a chamber orchestra playing probably Mozart or something. And they pump it out. And there's a science called technosmia. You pump it out the ether. Look, giant speakers for buildings, and they dismantled a lot. When you go in a church, you got a giant organ. That's what it was doing, guys. They were pumping it out. Look, you see, into the ether for the betterment. Okay, there's one up there too. So this was the science of technosmia. So that's another science associated with mud flood. That's been discovered. Antiquitech is another. It's just crazy in itself.
And all that was taking place back before let me see, the middle A chord was adjusted to 440 hertz. That was back when when music was at 432, right?
It was so sweet. It was so sweet and slow. They just done something good to these people. Honestly, they just had such a better quality of life. It's been perverted along the way, as you know.
Right.
And it's taken out of it. They know how it works, the music with vibrational quality, and they use it against us, especially with this dark, demonic, Ramstein sort of terrible music.
Satanic.
You know, satanic sort of music. Yeah. So that's the Mecca, in Mecca, the Kaaba, in the 1700s, and they got all antiquitech energy gathering devices all the way around it, and it seems to be like a ticket-in affair, and that's all there is to it in that era. There's nothing else there. It's incredible. And this is 1811 through to 1812. If you don't know, it's the biggest event in American history called the New Madrid event in Missouri, where the River Mississippi ran backwards, and whole cities sank into the mud. Okay, like this picture. Okay,
backwards.
Right. I'm like, how does that work on a globe?
It doesn't. None of this works on a globe. That's the whole point. This is Antiquitech Lighthouse, some prismatic arts I can't understand, but they sort of, it can be akin to like centralizing a beam so strong it's like a laser. And they're zapping a dragon, zapping a dragon there
Wow.
with electricity when they're not supposed to have electricity, because it's not like, Edison haven't come around yet. And the skyscrapers, of course, in the background. They don't exist in this period either. So we got a dragon being shot at. I got a lot of giant stuff. It's just they're all mixed up. And this is electricity being used outside the Kremlin, early 1800s, so clear 100 years before Edison and Tesla. And as you can see, it's all lit up with electricity, as most of Europe is at this stage, as you can see. Okay, how they got us to believe anything else is just insane when there's such an overwhelming amount of evidence to show. Look, electricity everywhere on the continent when they're supposed to have it for another 100 years. So, I don't know what that is. It's the most unusual skyline I've ever seen in my life. Those buildings that have been washed out by mud. There's a mud flood come through and they're making all the buildings good after events. That's unusual. I thought this was akin to comets, guys, right? They're taking it through another sort of parade, and apparently it's captured. Take a look at it. What the hell is that, guys?
Yeah, what?
It's got a curly tail. It's got these spikes on it, and apparently caught flying through the air. So I'm just wondering if it's comet.
Could it be a robot? Yeah.
So this is Antiquitech. This is the proof that electricity was used right the way through, and we've been believing nonsense. Okay, they had free energy all the way along. They got it now. So what are they doing? Trying to pretend they're doing free energy, fracking, 1,000 other different excuses. Just let me show you some beauty. Okay, this is artists of the era, and they all show you exactly the same thing. All different artists: Piranesi, Constable, Turner, and they all show a wrecked world. Oh, that's beautiful. Domage. We got Domage, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Diluvian.
Obviously. So they show you this. They show you everything is smashed. Everyone's a survivor, because we're at later survivor times right now from a later event of early 1800s, which I reckon cleared up by around 1850s, probably around that time, in time for the Crimean War. I think we were all sorted. Look at these people, guys. Obviously, these little people, right, didn't build all this great stuff, did they? Somebody's bloody built it. It's not the Romans. So there's been an event. It's wrecked everything. It's been documented, look, by all the artists of the era, guys. Antiquitech devices, energy gathering, and wrecked advanced culture. And these are all different artists, by the way. It's not a school of thought, guys. It's just what everyone is seeing is a survivor. Look at how deep that one is in mud. That's probably 3/4 of the way buried and smashed. So why is it so big? What came through the roof? And why is it just tiny little people just raking around in there, guys? You can see what's going on. Survivor times.
Yeah.
And these buildings are still around, guys. The Colosseum only got in the 30s. They told you it was 2,000 years old. They added 1,000 years. This is actually a clue. I don't speak Russian, but it actually shows an inaccuracy in the calendars. I don't speak Russian. So, yeah, numerous artists show exactly the same thing. A wrecked civilization, utterly beautiful, height of culture, technology you don't even understand, because it's based on vibrational science we haven't got a knack of anymore, because we've lost something in ourselves, because we got disconnected with this city rubbish and got disconnected from nature. Most unusual thing. Look how deep that one is, guys. Everything deep in mud, everything's shattered. And this was only, how many years ago do you think that was, guys?
Few hundred, maybe.
Yeah, 250 years ago, guys. That's all it is, mates. That's all it is. That's Rembrandt. That's in Dresden, and that's not the bombing of Dresden. That's a Rembrandt picture from the 1500s, 1600s, showing something hit it before World War II. And these countless artists all show exactly the same. It's overwhelming to me that something happened. They'll show exactly the same. It's encoded in strange alchemical coding. They show you exactly the reset system. When you know how to read it, it's easy to read. They show you everything is akin to plasma technology. So we got the ether, Sol, all you're with us, is Terra, so our flat plane, and this was all the whole world known to them at that time. But below, they got chaos, and look at this, Richard, check that out, right? Below
Look at
chaos,
that. Did they
Tartary,
say Tartarian?
Tartary, 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 they got below hell, below chaos. Why do you
Wow.
think that is, mate? Why do you think that is? This is an ancient depiction of our flat plane, you see.
Wow. Absolutely.
Yeah,
What?
man, spooky as hell. Why are they doing that? And why is Tartary down
That's
there?
why when Vegan Warrior asked yesterday, how is this connected? This is why.
Shit, man, I don't know what's going on. So, Richard, this is this alchemical art, and they're all just showing us the same thing. The civilization. You can see even at that period that they're mud flooders.
Mud
Just the
flow.
one tree crippled and just come back in the middle of the street. No, man, there's nothing going through it because it's a ghost town.
Right.
And a little thing in the background looks like an aerial. And cryptids. These the wallabies and these different creatures, the dog heads. Apparently, St. Christopher, the Saint St. Christopher, he, if you Wikipedia him, was a dog head. And it's all analogous for the place where we live. And this alchemical art with the electric sword, you can see the flames coming off it. They're showing you in this. But look at this, what it says, guys, right? This is important, I think. Clue when I found it. It says here, all in the laurel are good. And it says at the bottom, all in the serpent are evil. So anyone like in the serpent or, that parasitical reptilian what nature or whatever's going on with these ugly mindset out there, guys, right? And if you're in the laurel, okay, you're good, it says. So I think that's a clue somewhere along the line. But the laurel is usually the laurel for control and analogous for an electromagnetic field. So this is what they were up to in the Middle Era. This is only 300 and 400 years ago, guys. It may as well be a million years ago. And these people, they ain't us. They are not us. Okay.
No, not at all.
I just not don't feel really. I just don't feel like we're like connected to them somehow. I just see these things here. They're a forgotten language, right? We don't know who made them, and of course sigil art, and they're names for angels and demons. We only match them. We only match them for electric circuitry, and they're not any certain electrocircuitry. They are piezoelectric circuitry, no less. Okay, the type of thing you have in a crystal in your lighter that gives you a ginormous blast of electricity all in one go. Your angels have got electric circuitry for their names. Isn't that weird, guys? Isn't that weird? But as you can see here, you got the devil and some sort of alchemist guy. So yeah, this is 1700s, and it's like another universe to us. I don't know what they're thinking. They're on about reanimating the dead. Everything's related to this, which is the place where we live. But that's the, that's the human body as well. I can see it there. 2 eyes, the mouth. Can you see it, guys?
Yes.
There's nothing they don't do without thought and pattern. This is out of Lost Dante's Paradise, right? And you got like our flat plane because it's all based on a flat plane. This one as well, and it's an upside down pyramid underneath, right? You got the right way up pyramid, a step pyramid for Mount Meru. Okay, there. Everything, all the luminaries are in here with us. The stars are above them, and then there's a crystalline sphere, or excuse me, I'm not sure what that says. Something mobile, and above that it says the imperial paradise, so like a plane above us, above the dome. I always wonder, like when I think about like Zeus and Mount Olympus, guys, is there are they actually up there, actually looking down?
Right, right.
Yeah,
Oh
I
man.
was thinking about it.
And then at the bottom it said Inferno, upside down.
Yeah. So it's crazy stuff. It's absolutely so much of this stuff. This sigil art is all part of it, and it's magic. It's a type of magic, but it's not if you think about it, because it's to do with electronics. So what we're looking at is advanced technology that none of us can get our heads around. This is a Gustav Dor depiction, 1400s, of the witches. So these are witches, and they've got a date of birth, which is J497 or J497. So this good stuff does well worth looking into for coding. The spilling out of the water is our time running out, and even show plasma with a bird's wings open. If you know what that means, a bird's wings open, eagle, owl, means it's an active magnetic field. Means the electromagnet is being switched on. the Jersey Devil. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
1797. He was recorded all over. He still is to this day. He's supposed to turn up like this sort of
Yeah.
strange griffin-y type creature all over the East Coast. He turns up. There's different ones in America.
And that's a hockey team
As
in
well, yeah,
America,
it is.
isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Jersey Devils.
And there's his dog heads again, and it's a strange. Nothing to be learned there though, but it is part of it. It's this part of this mindset. As you can see, this is supposed to be 1400s. I can't blow it up. He's got a all-seeing eye, and he's showing fragmentals, and he's showing you designing of antiquity from his brain. Guys, what bloody, what's happened exactly to our reality? A couple of years ago, I was thinking these people were daft as brushes. All of a sudden, they're all geniuses beyond compare, and we don't know what they're saying to us because they're not us. They're just not us, guys. They're just not. Listen, I'm going to stop sharing. My son's in the next room. I'm going to be keeping him awake all night. Is that all right? Do you mind? Okay.
All right. So, all right. So what you were showing right there with the guy had the all-seeing eye and just kind of projecting those images. I'm thinking that's part of what ties in, because I'm looking at these pictures. I'm trying to decipher what's going on in these pictures and try to translate to how it's affecting our reality now. So the idea of him having his third eye, as it were, projecting these images and having that depiction. I mean, that ties into what's going on.
They know about the pineal gland, and everything
Well,
that we've been.
Well, yeah, that also goes into the idea of the use of fluoride in order to decalcify or to calcify our third eye or pineal gland, so we can't so much tap in the way that they used to, and also the way that society's set up. We're kept busy.
I decalcify. I use Tiger Balm. I've literally just coloured my forehead. I rub it on there. It seeps through into your third because it's practically an eye. And I also use magnets as well. I keep a stash next to me of neodymium magnets. Okay, and they do miracles to the human body. I've got a meteor, which is from up there somewhere, which is also got magnetic, as you can see, and that also got properties. Keep magnets in my pockets too. They have got health benefits. They're hiding it all from us. They really are. So much we don't know. All has to be unveiled this year. Probably not all at once, though. So it's a big field, as I said.
Well, you mean that? I know that there's certain ways that like I was saying, that you can heal from sound. You can heal from different things.
I seen an operation in Tokyo, not personally, but on a video, where I actually got in a book over by there as well, just to correspond, where they're like taking an appendix out of a child, and they're like digging into him, their fingers, not cutting nothing, right? They remove it, and they're not using any anesthetic. They're going, puh, puh, and another one's going, puh, puh, and they're creating just sounds. And they're like sort of like unlocking and trapping different things in this kid's body so he doesn't feel anything. It's the most unusual thing. Monks do exactly the same in Tibet, guys. They know this technology.
And you know what, Daryl, as I'm, finding out about this, and I'm going down this rabbit hole full force, I'm like, woo. I get to a video he's doing about these cathedrals. Like these are machines that they turned into cathedrals. So let me screen share. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to put a video so you can get an understanding. So it backs up what he's saying, so you can get a better understanding how deep this rabbit hole goes. Let me see.
All right, yeah, let's see that. I need to get with Martin offline about this whole decalcification and all.
Yeah, man. It's a big part of it.
Can you see what I see?
Yeah.
Okay. He was talking about these things, right? And these are, these are supposed to be, made in the medieval times, and I'm just not buying it. These were machines, man. They generated a certain type of harmonics. And there's something about sound where you went to these places and it did something for a reason. And we're still trying to figure out everything about these things.
Now, we understand the resonators are down to the purity and the symmetry and a specific type of metal to draw in the static charge. We understand that, but that's about it at the moment.
Right. Exactly. Like the Nazi sign, the swastika, and like the cross. You know, like people thinking, oh, it's Christianity. No, it actually means like a positive sign. And people, yeah, it's just all backwards. And these are the cymatic patterns. Okay, so everything is sound frequency. So you go up, and I mean, it's endless, and it's all over the world. So if this is all over the world, at one time, they either 3D printed this stuff, or there was a worldwide civilization that was connected with each other, and they were building stuff on a proportion, a feat of engineering that is mind blowing.
Yeah, maybe they was just so good they manifesting.
So let me give you an example. I'm going to play you this video about what I'm talking about. This girl named Tanya Harris.
All right, man. Don't give me another copyright strike like you did last night.
I don't know what happened with that, Jack.
Man, look. They said the video where you showed the mud coming down like from the houses coming down over the roads and all of that. That they said that, you know.
All right. Yeah. Well, no. This is an architecture sound by Tanya Harris. She's playing sound in a church. So I want you to see what Martin was talking about. Okay.
All right.
I know what I'm coming. Richard, tumbleweed.
Yeah.
I know. Look at that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Check this out. See cymatic patterns.
Wow. Look like stars. You look through a camera.
Yeah. So we'll just stop it right there. But
She's
that's,
amazing. You know?
like that's what that's what I'm talking about with these things. These made a frequency. That's why if you go to these old churches, you see these organs, these big organs, because of the organ, right? The organ energy.
How charmed this place is, guys. Just think about it. You see it in the structure of the buildings, the architectural quality is just divine. The place is divine, and they've made it another way. It sickens me. We can get it back.
Right. You see the civilization.
Yes, sweet.
So let me get out of here real quick.
Except the gargoyles that came in later.
Yes, the gargoyles.
They were replaced. There was cherubims and all that in the first place, and then they replaced them with ugly creatures.
Let me get out of there real quick. So, I have
Sweet.
So you were talking about San Francisco a lot. A lot of evidence of something happened within like the 1600s.
I've spent hours looking at them pictures, hours, and it just doesn't fit. You can't have like intense fires incinerating masonry and a lamppost and a tree outside the building and like wooden buildings across the road. It makes zero sense. Something else is going on.
It's sort of like the pictures that we see today on the news about what they're
Identical.
doing.
California. So I would say that something else was going on with San Francisco. It was a second of earthquakes anyway. I'm not denying it might have been an earthquake, but I mean this firestorm that destroyed all that area for the Great Expositions, Bay Area. That's just monumental. It looks like Hiroshima, and this is America. And Chicago's the same, and Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh.
Well, Martin, I was telling that to Daryl yesterday, and we were talking about that. All over this country, back in the 1800s, there were fires all over the place.
Every one of them.
Burning. They were trying to hide.
Same MO worldwide. They burn them out, then they build an exposition, and that in turn gets destroyed.
Right. All expositions burned. They built them up. Think about it. And everything was invented in the 1800s.
I think
doors, photography, everything.
This photography is older, and I think what we're looking at with the expositions, I think some of them buildings are real.
Absolutely.
And they're making out the building, the expositions to cover the architecture of the old. That's really what's going on.
Wow.
Doesn't ring true. I think that's what they're doing, because I've caught like two of the same arches, and they're not the two. The one being destroyed is made of plasterboard and plaster of Paris, and a year before is a hard stone, dirty granite structure. They're showing two different structures in the photographs, 100%, guys. So I think that they're covering the older architecture, this Tartarian style architecture, with expositions, and then they get destroyed into it. It's just the weirdest thing, guys. I think it's the most massive a subject. It's blatty your head, this will be honest. You'll never sleep again.
oh yeah, no, this is beyond what a lot of people are even ready for, man. And I had kind of stressed myself a little bit last night just thinking about, I'm saying, man, I don't like being lied to. I don't like the idea of people I care about being lied to. And
Same.
This is.
Have you heard about the catacombs in Paris where there's 6 million skulls?
No, 18.5 million. And they've only there's more been covered over with doorways and brickways. So they don't know how big this place is.
Yeah, just bones and skulls all over the place, just stacked up neatly. I saw some of that. Yeah.
Yo, over 6 more. He's talking about more now. I mean,
18.5.
And it's just mind blowing. Like what happened back then?
Right, you're wondering, like, okay, so they got like thousands upon thousands of skulls stacked up nice and neat on each side of the walls.
They call it pruning the nations.
Right.
They call it pruning the nations. They just come in, they cull, they do disease. It's easy to get people in balance. They can do that with electromagnetic disturbance. People go nutty, but they can do it all sorts of ways.
Yo, Martin, I was talking to Daryl yesterday. He was mind blown when I was showing about the Antiquitech of the Wi-Fi
Yeah, man.
I was like, that's Wi-Fi. He was like, no, get out of here. I was like, yeah, dude.
God, you should see what we found out. Telex machines in the mid 1500s, Vendap found. We found everything is old. Nothing new under the sun, man. Nothing new.
Crazy. It's crazy. And I mean, and what we're saying is, guys, and people out there listening, is that the ancients were far more advanced than what we've been told they are.
Yeah.
Like I said yesterday, they would have us believe that they lived in caves and they built temples, right? Caves and temples, right? At the same time, we live on a spinning ball in outer space, okay? Spinning around ridiculous speeds around the sun that's supposed to be 93 million miles away. So you would hear the term parasitic controllers for a reason. We're dealing with psychopaths here, okay? And there's a lot of, dots to connect when we're talking about this. Very satanic. And that's why I said this question's everything. You got to put everything on the table when you hear this. Everything.
We can't trust them, guys. We just can't trust them. We just can't.
Not at all.
They like shape the place we live, what under the history, what robbed us of who we truly are, guys. When we start to unplug the true human potential, it's just going to be a beautiful thing, and that'll catch. That'll just be critical mass next year for humanity.
I hope so. I'm hoping so, man. I'm gonna keep doing what I can, man. But
absolutely,
geez,
the troops keeps everything positive always. I love that feature.
You know what? But I like to show you. I'm gonna show you a couple of things and just walk through me with this, Martin, real quick.
Sorry.
I'm going to walk through this so that our the people out there watching this can actually that is just now tuning into this can understand really what's going on. Let me know if you can see what I see.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, well, this is a flag of Tartary, the Empire of Tartary. Okay, they had their own flag. This is the griffin, and this is the owl. Okay, on our money. Right, we have an owl on our money today. Okay, so after when I was in the middle of my investigation, I was like, oh snap, we could be Tartarians and not even know it, and only certain people know it. This is the owl. This is their flag. This is at one point of time Tartarian. This is that site I was telling you about, Tartarian.info. And this is
good site.
Yes, real good site. And this is basically, this was all the empire, everything in red. And at one point, they had all of this in China over here too. They were like woven cultures together.
All of China, 1700s.
Yes, absolutely. And we're not. And look, Genghis Khan, Tartarian, okay, right? And we've been sold a bunch of lies, okay. It's just some more how Tartarian people look, right? And this is a genealogy, okay, right? Genealogy of all the emperors, okay? So this is real. This is not fake. All the ancient maps show Tartaria on them. And why you don't know about it? Why is it I'm 43 years old and I'm just now finding out about Tartaria?
It's crazy, isn't it?
So basically, I want to go through here is this. Here's just some example of some of this mud flood evidence and how like all our history is wrong. This is in San Francisco. See this house right here? This is a mud flooder. But I want you to take a look at the certain type of architecture that you see around the world. I can go right down the block and I can find this type of architecture. This is from the ancient civilization. This is from a time before us. Maybe later on in a different time, in a different show, we'll go over through some Google Earth and I can show you everywhere this is at.
I see them in Turkey,
yes, absolutely. So something happened. Okay, a large amount of mud came down here, and it came from this direction, and it went down this direction. So, and there's some other ones right here. So just to show you, these are just mud flooders right here. Okay, just so you know when you see it, this is the type of architecture I'm talking about right here. You see this? This is all the Tartarian stuff right here, okay? And something happened, okay? So there was an event that put everything right. So these buildings, they go much more down.
They do.
Yes. So what are we looking at right here? Want to break that down? I mean,
yep, that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about yesterday. Just off of memory, I hadn't even looked at any pictures lately, but I was thinking about the pictures that I had seen from San Francisco, where the roads are just really steep and the buildings are just, man. Here we go.
Yes.
Here we go.
I used to go
that
do
winding road as well, haven't you, in San Francisco?
Right. You see how they just built into the second floor? So this one, they just built in, and some of them he built on top of these things. It's amazing. It's mind blowing. It's right there in front of us. Look at this. Look at the
San
amount.
Francisco is amazing.
Oh, so much. Just like Chicago.
Yeah,
oh my
very
gosh.
much.
Chicago is a plethora of. Look at this. What's going on over here? Huh? A little bit of mud flutter right there. Huh?
Wow.
Yep.
And you walk past this like, oh, okay, that's weird. Like 1,000 times. We're like, what happened here? And then just keep walking. But then
Look at that red one. Oh my God.
when someone mentions mud flood, everything starts making sense. Like, oh, snap. You know, we're talking about people with, man, I showed you how fast that mud can go.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a done deal, Jack. You know,
It ruins the day. You can't do anything. You can't get a boat in it. You can't walk in it.
Nope. And just to show people that's looking into this for the first time, that's just now hearing about mud flood, this is what we're talking about, mud flood. So you can see people could say, "Oh no, that's BS. That's not true." You guys,
it's overwhelming evidence that something's happened. And I've got architects talk to me. I've got architects up to me. I got one as a doctor in engineering and an architect, and he is basically doing a thesis on his subject in PhD. So that's how, you know, this subject is basically, if somebody's doing a doctorate in it, guys, it's got that much credibility now with the overwhelming evidence. So yeah, I haven't got a leg to stand on.
Overwhelming, and the type
overwhelming.
And they'll tell you, you go and say, well, when was this built? And they'll tell you, oh, the 1800s, the 1800s. Check yourself. You're not going to be able, not going to tell you who built this, and they'll give you some stories that just don't make sense. I did it. I mean, it's amazing. And I live in the Philadelphia area, and there's overwhelming evidence of a mud flood. Yeah. It's just amazing. So I was going to just play this. This is, do we have some more time, Daryl?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, because I'm pissing my son right off. It's at past 3 and I got neighbors and all.
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, hey, thanks, Martin. Thanks for hanging out, man.
And it's a pleasure, D. If any time you want me to come over and have a chat, I'm quite happy to fill in when I got a bit more time. I've had 3 tastes.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and get some rest, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, let everybody know where they can find you.
All right, God bless, boys. Excuse me.
All right. Thanks, Martin.
Guys, make sure you subscribe to his channel, man. He's got good stuff, man.
Yeah, that's Martin Leakey. I'll put a link to his channel in the description when I finish this whole thing up. And yeah, man. Look here, I want to show something too.
Oh, okay. Also, okay. So let me get out of this.
Just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, take it over.
All right, real quick. Like, you know what? Hold on. Yeah, let me just one thing really quick because I saw something in the chat. Here, can you see this? Are we good or no?
Go ahead. I see. Go ahead.
Okay. You see this card? Pave the Earth. I saw somebody in the chat said, yeah, who was that? Joanna Freedom said they have a Cement the Earth card in the Illuminati card deck. So in the Illuminati card game, they got, Pave the Earth.
Wow.
Yeah, like what's that about? I wanted to check that out while you guys were talking. I'm like, wait a minute. So let me close that out real quick.
What I'm talking about, D.
Hold on,
They're
man.
resetting this every couple of 100 years, and the
Let me
only way
see.
to find out, to fight against this is to go underground. Or
That's
to,
wild.
it's crazy, man.
That's craziness, man.
It's crazy.
So
It's mind blowing. Well, it's right there in front of us, and it's so much evidence.
that
Mind.
is something else, man. So I'm thinking it's like yeah, this has happened multiple times before, and I'm saying if we're in this kind of cycle, it's only a matter of time before it happens again.
Yeah, man.
That's a little unsettling
It
if you
is.
think about it.
Actually, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I'm like, why am I thinking about this so much? Because it's real. You like if they could just, you know, put us under mud anytime they want, control us, all these 5G things, setting up all over
Yeah,
the place. And people
yeah,
worrying about the Steelers game and the Washington Redskins or the,
right.
you
Oh,
know,
the Seahawks got the wild card spot.
right.
Yeah, man.
In the meantime, you know what I mean? They burning, using direct energy rays, burning down cities, and
Yeah,
they fluoride in your water and dropping all kinds of, we're under attack, man. I'm sorry
right,
to
right.
say, man, we're under attack. So,
Yeah, I'm saying that's part of what bugs me about this whole thing, man. It's like all this stuff is going on. All this stuff went on in the past. We've been deceived about so much stuff that happened in the past. So much stuff from back then's been covered intentionally and destroyed and just kept away from us. Meanwhile, here in this day and age, we're divided by all these different types of situations, these borders, ethnicity, political ideology, heck, where you're from, what team you support, um, stuff like that, and kept so busy in these jobs that we don't have time to go out and do the research to look at this stuff. And then we're undergoing or having to deal with the soft kills like the chemtrails, the stuff in the food, the vaccines, and then on top of all that, we got to deal with them putting fluoride in the water to cut us off spiritually.
yeah.
Yeah,
At the
okay.
same time, we're forcing NASA down our throats.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the meantime, we're getting all kinds of space propaganda
Right.
talking about putting a rover on Mars and sending probes to the sun.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
Right. And actually, and every time when you wake up in the morning, no matter where at in this country, you turn on your local news, the news is going to tell you how many people got shot in the hood in that area. I kid you not.
Yeah.
I kid
Oh
you not.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I was saying that this morning, man. Getting some continental breakfast at this hotel this morning. I was like, man,
Right.
all the news was about guns. This somebody got shot here. They let me see. They approved a bill to ban bump stocks. So these weapons are going to behave less like automatic weapons and all that. And then the very next story is this person got shot. The very next story after that is this guy shot his wife or whatever. Man, I'm like, this is straight propaganda. And these guys sitting at this table next to me, I'm just looking at them and their eyes are just glued on the screen. I'm like, dude, you don't know how much you're being programmed right now, man. But oh my God,
And they believe.
ridiculous. Yeah, and they believe it, and they believe it because that's what's being presented to them, man. Like this is real news, and come on, man, come on.
Them.
Yeah, yeah, and what was it? What was it the day after Christmas? It was news stories about all the fires that took place because of the Christmas trees and all that. Man, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't go live and actually snap off some scriptures about all that Saturnalia.
And supposedly, like I guess like maybe 5-6 days ago, over 200,000 people in Indonesia died from a tsunami.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if they were celebrating that. I don't know if there's any truth to that. Whatever. I turned it on the news by accident, and they were talking. about and I'm like, what? So I don't know if they were reviewing that. Did you hear anything about that?
Nah, man. I was at Pop's house. I was unplugged, man. Yeah. I was at Pop's house with the kids, just chilling. You know, not really on the news or anything. So I mean, California could have slipped off into the Pacific. I wouldn't have heard about it until I got back here.
Life is much better is when you tune off and you turn out that stuff. Turn it off.
Yeah, yeah. Only problem is when you come back, you're like, there's some scary stuff going on out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they make it seem like it's much worse place to live than it actually is. Think about it. Everything is scarcity. Man. Everything is scarcity. They want everything scarcity. The programmers, they're lying about us. They got it so messed up and twisted, believing in all kinds of stuff, and it's so much stuff, technology. There's a lot of evidence coming forward right now, showing that this place was much more advanced than what we've been told. Later on, we can actually go through Google Earth, and you can see. Remember, I was telling you about the ancient roads, the ancient railroad.
Yeah, yep. Right? The different
airports.
Yeah, and I was looking at some of that stuff too. I don't know. It's like I get a chance to kind of just kind of skim through information, and just check out some of this stuff. But I was checking out one guy. He was going over Google Earth, looking at the overhead view of different places in Nevada.
Yes.
How there were like these old cities, but it's like the structure. It's like they will build towns kind of the same way, like over the old structures, but it's like construction couldn't keep up with all the extra stuff going on out in the desert. So there's just places that are away from the city, and you can see these designs out there, and
it looks like a circuit board, doesn't it? Right? Like
right?
Yeah. Like, what is this?
Star forts? Yeah, it looks like the circuit board, the star forts, and all that. And I had thought about that when y'all were talking about that. When Martin was going over the star forts and all that, and it makes sense that all these buildings have, that they're set up in this certain pattern, and then they have the antennas on the top. And it's like they're just kind of drawing in energy, and then there's this central point where all the energy just kind of focuses in, and that's where the tallest tower is.
Right.
I'm not a professional on all that, but it does make sense, man. It's just
right. That's why they use lead paint, man, because I think lead is like it's a conductor, and I'm looking into that right now. I'm still like doing that research right now about the use of lead paint. Why was lead paint in all these buildings? Did they conduct, electricity? Is it a conductor? You know what I mean? And I'm still looking at it, and it's mind blowing, man. It's so many holes to go in there, but it's antediluvian. It's the Great Deluge. Okay, antediluvian. Okay, that's pre-Noah's flood. Okay, now you got to put this in your mind. Noah could have been a giant. Okay. All right, the story about his wives, blah blah. If the story of Noah is true, but you got to factor and say, hey, you can't just believe anything and say, oh, okay, all that history is wrong, and I'm just going to believe this. Oh, this has got to be right. Well, can you prove that? Yeah, and how do you know
that? well, I'm saying there was an expedition back I believe it was like the 50s where there was this one guy, I forget his name, and it was from it was some guy. He was in one of Dave Murphy's videos.
Yes.
The one why Great Britain is no longer great or British. Right. And there was a clip in there where the guy actually did go over to the Middle East, and they found what bared striking resemblance to that which we would know as Noah's Ark, with the ballast stones, with the rivets and all that, built to the same specifications and all that. So, I mean, this all links in. It all ties in some way or another. But I'm telling you, man, the thing that gets on my nerves the absolute most is that so much has been hidden from us, man. It's like we're here and we don't know what this place is. We don't know what happened. We don't know who we are for the most part, how we got here. It's like That stuff gets on my nerves, man. If
Are
I'm
we
being
an
completely
experiment?
honest.
Are we an
Yeah,
experiment? You
yeah,
know, I was thinking for a while about the kid with the ant farm. You know what I mean? Like, do you, if I, the kid with the ant farm, do that kid, care about the politics of those ants?
yeah. No, not at all.
Right,
Not at
exactly.
all.
You know, and you guys hashed that out, right? Or we an experiment. Where do those kids come from? Where are they shipping those kids in? Are they resetting this place every 200 years? What's going on, right? How come there's people don't know, their fathers don't know where their great great grandfathers is at, or even buried? Well, that's because you know, man, nobody really do. What's going on? You
Yeah,
know,
man.
it's a lot of questions. But like I was talking about,
Yeah,
Diluvian, pre-Noah's flood, man. I'm starting to think that wasn't too long ago, man. It wasn't too long ago, man. It
man. You might
wasn't
be
too
right. You might be right, man.
long ago.
Jeez. All right. Well, look. I don't know, man. I got nothing. I got nothing. I'm just here to, try to
Well, let me, I was gonna
expand the
play.
concept.
I was gonna play. I mean, a little something for viewers, um, to kind of for the people that just looking into this. It's about mud flood. He's gonna go over some of these buildings real quick. I'll play about 5 minutes of it, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, yeah. What you got? Go ahead and
Okay,
write. I'll go ahead and mute up. Let me go grab some water.
you got it, boss.
Buildings of old cities. Recently, in Omsk, there has been lots of renovation and construction of roadways and buildings. This is in preparation of Omsk's 300-year anniversary. In particular, the Vrobil building was renovated. You are looking at it now. The Vrobil building is a museum. The museum exposition occupies two buildings. The first one is a former commercial building by architect Krachkov in 1914. That's when it was built. And the second one is former Governor General Palace, built on the left bank of the river by architect Wagner in 1859 to 1862. Supposedly, this building is 100 years old, but looking at the base of the building, we can see what is called a cultural layer, accumulated mud over time. If we suppose that a cultural layer accumulation can be calculated as a few millimeters per year, this does not come close to accounting for the deep layer of mud that can be seen on Vrubil, the museum foundation. This is not an abandoned building. It is constantly maintained, and there is heavy foot traffic. I would like to mention the work of Polish historians and professionals in the field of history and architecture. They discuss and question instances where adjacent buildings and cities can have varying levels of mud, and particularly in relation to underground foundational levels. What's the point of storing commercial goods underground, or building garages underground? And why do front doors and windows appear below ground level? History tells us that buildings in Omsk were built around the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Here is the Volochayevska 9 number 9 building. It's a brewery. Look at the first floor windows. They are underground. This is Krasny Put Shest, or number 6, on Red Road. Today, it's the Ministry of Health of Omsk region. Even after reconstruction, notice the ground floor windows are still submerged in the ground. This is Krasny Put 19, or rather, 19, Red Road. After reconstruction, the windows are still below the earth. Next, this is Gusarova 18, or number 18. This is a shining example. Reconstruction has not happened here yet. Next, This is Gusarov 27, or 27. Someone thought they could fool us with a can of paint, but we can still see bricked up foundation windows. This drama theater has strange proportions. The appearance is as if the building is pressed into the ground. This is especially evident in decades-old photography. You can compare the old photos with the new photos of the drama theater today. I draw your attention to the more normal-looking staircase of the main entrance, which was recently reconstructed. Next, this is the Internationalne 25, or International 25. This is the Zdania Yapargi Diocese building. Again.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop it right there, but I wanted to kind of show you that. Also, too, is I want to show you my friend Tommy sent me these pictures. Shout out to Tommy Rogers from Canada. There's a lot of mud flood evidence in Canada. Matter of fact, there's a lot of mud flood evidence where you live. So learn,
True.
Learn what you look for. Learn this architecture. When you see sub-level windows, be like, oh, okay, that's a mud flood building. So we can find out. If you see griffins, or if you see this type of, let us know, because then we can mark that's a spot where Tartarian Empire was. And these Tartarians, they were the master of red brick makers. They were building these things on a scale that's unimaginable. And he just sent me these photos just to show you that evidence.
Man, you know what? Now that you mention it, the house I grew up in Arkansas,
right?
The basement is like the underground level it was built with the red bricks and all that, and the like at the foundation, and then the house on top of that was built totally different.
Oh
wow, dude.
Wow. Okay. Now everything starts making sense. And now this is why important that people get, to know this, to understand this, and see what's going on. Look at this. There's so much. I see it. I grew up, I'm from the Bronx, man. I was born in the Bronx, and I grew up in Brooklyn, but there's so much mud flood evidence in the Bronx. So if you're listening to this and you're from New York, go to the Bronx, man. It's all in those old buildings that's in the Bronx, that's always been there, that's always been shut down. And they all say, and the story was, it was a bunch of white people that used to live there, and that's all lies, man. There's a thing called reset cities, man, where either Chinese and all, these people are making cities, and that no one's living in. They're called reset cities. Look it up. If you go on YouTube, I'm telling you, they're spending billions just making cities and roads and towns, and no one lives there, man. And we believe that there's an area in the Bronx where they were part of a reset city. It's mind-blowing, dude. There's so many connections. And, it's just mind-blowing. This architecture, it's all over the world. So
that's wild.
Let me get out of here. But it's real rap, man. It's real rap, and then people, have to understand what's going on, man.
I'm trying to. You know what? Never mind. All right, I'm burnt. I'm burnt. I got nothing, man. I gotta hop off and relax, because this is
man. It's like stuff. It's like sitting down talking. Telling the globe head that the Earth is flat, satellites are real, NASA lies, and get them all at once. Tell them everything in 5 minutes, and they just start to shut down. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of information to process, man. And my mind was blown, because it was just more proof that we got to figure out what this place is, and that more proof that history is a bunch of lies.
Yeah. I gotta. Yeah, next time I go back down to Low Rock, man, I got to go back to that other house, because me and my brother used to go, there was this little door we could go to, and it would go under the house, and we would look at the brick around the walls, and yeah, it was that old red brick, just the same, man, at the foundation, underground. So wow,
yeah,
that's
I'm actually doing a video right now about the red brick makers, man. It's all over the world, no matter where. And they had to be advanced to make all these. I mean, it's just mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I mean, just wow. Like that's why I said Harry Potter, on crack 10 times, man. You know what I mean? This is real.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, I don't know. This will be something I'll have to look more into, especially being around the Seattle area. But yeah, man, this is
overwhelming evidence in Seattle. Oh my gosh, and a lot of old photos. And when you look at these old photos, Daryl, look at the wires, look at the time frame. Okay, understand when they made photography or when they say you could connect the dots. Why does this house have an antenna on it? Okay, and people say, there are electricity rods. Nonsense. We know they were using free energy. Okay, that's not even a debate. That's a fact. They were using free energy, and these buildings were equipped to harness this energy, and they use sounds that we can't comprehend and we don't understand right now because it's been hidden from us.
True. Good Lord, man. All right, folks. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Man. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man, to hang out for this part 2 on this subject. Yeah, this is there's a lot going on here. There's always a lot. So look, I encourage everybody to continue looking into this. Shortly after this video, I'm gonna go ahead and post that CIA document or a link to it in the description. So if you want to read over it, go ahead and do that. It talks about Tartaria and adjusting cultures and some other stuff. I kind of glanced at it before we got started. I had the link in the description. We had the technical difficulties, had to start a new stream, and now we're here. But I'll get that stuff put in the description. I'll get your channel linked in there. I'll get Martin's channel linked in there, and yeah.
Also, if you really want to dive in and watch some dope, videos, watch Conspiracies Are Us, John Levi, just if you see these names, just subscribe to him. Rebel Without a Pause, he goes out with his camera and he goes out there and films this evidence like Philip does. So we're going to be, Philip knows we're going to be talking to Philip next week sometime. So we're going to make it happen.
All right, sounds good, man. I'll be listening in to see what y'all talking about, man, because this is some mind-blowing stuff, and
yeah, man.
Hope everybody had fun because there's more going on the flat Earth. So
yes, absolutely.
Good night. All right, so I'll say good night to the folks in the chat. Give me a few minutes, a couple seconds here. Amanda, have a good night. Flat Earth Squirrel Girl. All right. Rob Dizzle, what's up? Rustin Simpson, One Neo, Poopy Pants. Know the Ledge. Playing Permaculture. It's all about the permaculture. Got you twice. Joey Silv in the house. What's going on? Tammy Tony, SVDM Radio. Joanna Freedom, thanks for the question earlier. Miss Tony Midnight Gardner, NASA CGI Snakes, Manny Pinocchio. I'm not that tired, man. I'm saying it's like 7:38. All right, I'm gonna get some sleep. Don't worry, we're fine. All right, Naomi DB.
I got some stuff, man.
Yeah, I know there's a lot going on, man. I just don't want to like drag it on for like hours and hours because people will be like, "What?" Yeah. Trying to be nice.
Yeah, they got to soak it in. And a shout out to Flat Earth British for Martin for doing a wonderful job.
Straight up. Mr. Drobot, Gartrell McKinney, Milkman was good. Jessica Colorado, Miss D. I see you. Have a good night. All right, folks. FE Offensive in the house. It goes down. We're still trying to make things happen out here. 2019 is going to be all about that activism, hitting the streets, getting out here doing this thing. January 5th, I'm going to be doing the underground tour in Seattle. If you're in the 253 to 206, maybe the 360, come and join me. January 5th, 2019, 2 p.m. is when I'm going to be doing my tour. If you can't join, I'll be trying to live stream that thing. It's just a 60-minute joint, so we can.
You should have no problem.
I'd like to. I certainly hope so.
Yeah, so. No problem. That's gonna be big, man.
I hope so. I hope so. I don't know if possible. I might have somebody, working the camera for me while I'm streaming, and then I'll have my P900 just taking all kinds of pictures. Because I'm saying, man,
nice. And check out
that's going to be interesting
narrative too. And it's mind blowing. It's all nonsense. I mean, they don't even know about the mud floods.
I'm saying,
right.
So I'm going to have to binge watch some stuff and.
Yes.
Take some notes and maybe ask some questions when I get on that thing too. We'll see.
Conspiracy RS talks about the free energy. Make sure you subscribe to him. Check him out.
Absolutely.
And John Levi, check him out. And then you get a better understanding of what's going on. They make great video, good stuff.
All right, for sure. I appreciate you, man. Go on. Yo, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you had a great time.
Absolutely.
As always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. Yes, see you next time. Thank you.
Peace.
Wait.